Saturday, October 28, 2023. This is Rick with the Mercedes Diesel Guy channel, and this is my 2002 Mercedes-Benz ML320 project. So, I didn't get to do any work last weekend. I was away with the kids at a Cub Scouts family campout, and I'm back to it this weekend. I didn't get to do anything during the week either because I was a bit under the weather. Still am, but I can get back to doing stuff. Probably not going to get much of anything done today, or possibly this weekend. But filming an update right now because at the moment I am awaiting delivery of the parts car. So when I originally saw this posted online about a little over a month ago, they had it as part of a package deal with parts car. By the time I went to go look at this one, they'd split it up into two separate ads. Looks like they had nobody wanting to buy them both at the same time. I thought that the asking price was a bit of a reach. So I went and I looked at this one and I made a deal, and certainly got it for quite a bit less than they were originally asking. And then as I've been poking at it the last few weeks, I started to think, you know what, a parts car probably would end up saving me quite a bit of money. Now, I didn't originally want to consider it because for a few reasons. One, having to have it towed here, even though it was only 2 miles, just arranging that could have been a hassle. And also the extra money outlay for the parts car. And really, I don't have the time or the facility to do a full part out. Nor am I really permitted to do that sort of thing here, so I'm going to do what I can. But anyhow, this past week I decided that I would go take a look at the parts car, and met with the the folks who sold me this one. And the parts car is fully intact. Cosmetically, it's actually in better shape than this one. The bumpers are trashed, so they're unusable, but it's got things like the tail lights, the tailgate, some interior pieces I'm missing, and significantly better tires. Now, the parts car has a blown engine, or at least I'm told. I'm not sure exactly what's wrong with it. The person I spoke to didn't remember too much. The parts car's been parked about 4 years. There's other things, like it's supposedly it's got the catalytic converter I need. So really, it's probably going to end up saving me a lot of money and a lot of hassle tracking stuff down. There just aren't pick and pull junkyards here in the area, so I don't have the luxury of going out and like mining for the parts I need. And there's only one 163 M class anywhere in the local area being parted out on classifieds, and even that's an ML55, and it's all the way in Chattanooga, and that's an hour just to go there. So plus, who knows what they're going to want for individual parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the parts car here, take what I need off it, get this one up and running, and then once I'm satisfied that I have everything I need off it, sell what I can off the parts car pretty quickly and then junk it. It's kind of a short-term part out. So you can see it's still up on ramps from when I changed the oil a few weeks ago. And I really just haven't had a chance to back it down yet. So parts car should be here shortly. I'll do a quick walk around when it gets here. I'm not going to film it being delivered. Yeah, and that was another thing. When I went to look at it, the seller offered to deliver it. They have a trailer, so I couldn't say no to that. It was cheap and delivered, so it's really going to be a big help in this project. So like I said, when it gets here, I'll do a quick walk around, and I probably won't be able to do anything with the 2M class this weekend, or at least not today. The Volvo has an exhaust leak, and I need to pretty much replace the whole exhaust system. So that's probably going to be what I'm doing this afternoon, and very likely tomorrow also. I mean, that's the daily driver. It's got to take precedent. So, but what I might try to do is I might try to throw a battery into the parts car and see if it'll run, because I have no idea exactly what's wrong with parts car. I'm sure the engine's no good, but will it start? That's my question. So I will film more when the parts car gets here. Alright, the parts car is here and has been delivered. Let's take a look at what might be my latest poor decision. Okay, so this one's a 2003, and I actually got a little more information from the seller, who, you know, once again, it's a very small town, lives across town, so essentially a neighbor. So I don't know exactly the circumstances of what happened, but they had driven through some mud and it had gotten everywhere, and they had sprayed it all off before the drive back home. But at some point it was getting hot, and then they heard the engine made a horrible sound like engine internals disconnecting. So I'm guessing that, yeah, at some point water probably got into it and it either hydrolocked and broke stuff, or something similar happened. So this is an 03. It's a year newer. I think they probably have both about the same amount of miles on them. I think overall cosmetically this one's a little better, with a few exceptions. You can see that there's some stuff here that nicked up the hood and this fender. Is this a crack in the windshield? It is. So it's got a cracked windshield. Not that I need that at all. Like I said, tires, I mean, they have great tread, way better than what's on the on this one here. You can see these are worn down and need to be replaced, plus dry rot. So I haven't noticed any dry rot on these yet, so I'm probably going to run these for now. Let's see. Inside here you can see some mud, probably from that initial incident, but otherwise, you know, pretty well intact. Some duct tape on the driver's door panel. The driver's seat back is split there, but the seat bottom looks okay. So I'm probably gonna salvage parts from this seat here, and even though it'll be different colors, just put together a good driver's seat. And I'm going to check and see if I can actually use the bottom and cushion from this one here, because this one here, this passenger one, seems to be in the best shape. Haven't really gone through this too much yet. Here's the interior. Which one's, okay, there's the lower compartment. Glove box here. Oh, navigation DVD. Spare key fob. This is interesting stuff here. What's this one? This is it's in Spanish. Depósito del aceite. Something oil. This is an old oil cap. Said nav DVD here. Some random paperwork in here. Now this one here has the under-seat storage compartment. Let's see if I can... there. And that seems to be missing in the other 320, so I can use that. Looks like there's a whole book of info here that I didn't have for the other car. So this is good. Yeah, for both cars. So I've got Mercedes Diesel Junior Part 2 here helping me out. Say hi to the camera, buddy. Having fun?
Yeah.
What do you think of the new parts car?
Great.
Yeah. So let's see what's in this. Let's see what's in here. It's Mercedes-Benz centers, service and warranty info, factory approved service products, June 2002, service booklet, to record service. Vehicle care guide. I don't know if this is just cosmetics or if it goes into like fluid changes or anything, so I'll have to look at that a little later. Radio code. All right. I know this one has the CD changer in the back. I saw that a few days ago. And operator's manual. Is this the... This might be the owner's manual. This might be a duplicate of the one I already have. Yeah, okay, so there's stuff that's just kind of broken here. Let's see if I can... I think I probably need power to open that up. I don't know if this is a cassette or a CD head unit. There's a tape button, so... Or maybe, even if it is a CD player, maybe it has a nav DVD in there, I don't know. So oddly enough, even though this one's been sitting for years, it smells a lot cleaner in here than it does in the other car. So, yeah, I think the other car probably has a minor water leak that's causing some mold. We'll have to locate and address that. Now, here's the rear hatch. A little bit of a disappointment today. So when I looked at this car a few days ago, aside from this busted piece of bottom trim, the rear hatch was fine, but now the seller was nice enough to load this up on a trailer and bring it to me, but apparently when loading it up with a tractor, they did bump the tailgate here, so that's got a little bit of a dent now. It's not too bad, to be honest, so I can pop that out a bit, and I'll probably still end up using this hatch. It's going to be interesting trying to swap them. Looks like I need to release these struts here.
Is that the box that's right there?
Yeah, that's a box.
What's what in?
Some brake parts in there. And it looks like maybe just 2 bolts here, and then I got to feed the wiring harness through. So it looks like the hatch is probably not too bad. It's just, dealing with, it being, 6.5 feet off the ground. So what I'll probably do is... I'll probably stack a whole bunch of stuff underneath here to hold it and support its weight, and then get somebody to help me, probably Mrs. Mercedes Diesel Guy, and then we will get that done at some point. Oh yeah, I was going to open this up again. Why did I close it? And there's other stuff. So like in here, and you open this up. If I can get this to, there it is. Here's the factory CD changer. Who knows if there's any discs in there or even if it works anymore. The jack is down here. I was curious about that. So it looks like the jack and probably the lug wrench. So I'll definitely transfer those to the other car.
Mom, the parts card's already here.
Okay, so here it is. Like I said, there's a lot of good stuff on here. I just don't really have time or space or facilities for a full part out. There's other stuff too, like this lower grill piece right here. I need one of those, so that's good. Got spare lights all around. I can polish out headlights. The grill here, unfortunately, is actually a bit worse than the one I have, but I might be able to take these little sections down here and maybe fake up the top piece that I need for the other car. I don't know yet. So, yes, this badge has seen better days. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here. Like I said, the biggest thing I need is the catalytic converter. And for anybody who might be curious if I tried to get more money off for the dent, no, absolutely not, because like I said, I got this dirt cheap to begin with, and yeah, it does, buddy. So yeah, I got the car dirt cheap to begin with, and then and I made the deal before they even offered to deliver it. So that already saved me probably at least $150, because I don't think anybody's going to come and even for a 2-mile tow, I don't think they're going to come and load it up and deliver it much cheaper than that. So still feel like I got a great bargain here, and can probably pop most of this out. The bottom isn't mangled like it is on the other car, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff here I can use, and then I can probably sell a bunch of it before I junk it. I'm going to hook up a battery and see if this thing will even start. Now I'm going to put the chances of that happening at probably around 3 to 5% based on the previous owner's explanation of what the breakdown was like. The way he described the noise is he said it sounded like a rod broke or something. It was engine internals. So there's another reason I want to hook up a battery. I want to check out the sound system and see what else inside it might still be working. Got Mercedes Diesel Junior Part 2 here helping me out. So I do have the battery from the other ML320. I did charge it last week. Hopefully it's still holding a charge. So I'm going to toss it in here quickly, and we'll see what happens. Alright, well, I have the battery in here. And I checked a few things because in the battery tray there was a mouse nest. I cleaned that out. I checked here in the air box. No mouse nest in there. I can tell that the mud had gotten up into the bottom of the air box, but it had never gotten through the air filter. It doesn't look like any muddy water got sucked up through the intake, so that's good. I pulled the dipstick, and it looks like just regular old engine oil in there. I popped the cap off the coolant reservoir, and I don't feel anything in there, but I'm not really taking that as a sign of anything at the moment. So
it doesn't have any coolant.
It does not have any coolant. That's right, buddy.
Yep.
I have not clamped down the battery yet. I kind of have the cables loosely on there, so I'm gonna get in, turn the key, see what happens. If I need, I'll play around with the connections a bit for a moment. Like I said, I'm expecting nothing, but let's see if we get anything. Alright, well, the electronics came alive, and I turned the key, and it did click. So I'm not sure if that's I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm not sure if the battery is just not up to snuff, or the connections need to be tightened, or the engine is seized. So I'm gonna just try clamping down these battery terminals. And I'll try a few more times. It's also entirely possible that the engine was not a lost cause, but sitting for a few years did not help. When I connected the battery, I could see that it's got a half tank of fuel, but once again, that's several years old and is probably no good, and there's an extremely high chance the engine wouldn't even fire on that if it does crank. So I'm going to clamp down these battery terminals, and I'll try this again. Alright, I tightened down the positive cable, but the negative, the bolt on the negative cable just is not taking a tightening. The bolt and nut are kind of seized up, so let's see if this makes any difference at all. Once again, probably not. It is probably seized, but let's see if it cranks any better. Alright, so it's still not cranking, but I have a little bit more hope, and I'll tell you why. it didn't crank, so I decided I would play around with a few electronic gadgets in there. And one of the windows went down, 1 out of 4, very slowly, which suggests to me that the battery just does not have enough power anyway. So I might try to jump this off the Volvo, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I was actually able to clean up that connection a bit to the point where I can get the battery negative cable to clamp. So I'm going to hook up the jumper cables now. I'm going to start the Volvo, and then I'm going to try one more time to try to start the Mercedes. That was definitely a bust. I'm not going to spend any more time on this. At this point, I'm just assuming that the engine is seized. I don't have enough space in there to get a wrench on the crank, and even then, I bought this assuming it had a seized engine, or at least a blown engine, one way or the other, so I can tell that having the jumper cables hooked up helped, because electrical stuff in the car seems happier. Now 2 out of 4 windows roll down, and I'm going to disconnect the jumper cables in just a moment, but I think that's pretty much all she wrote at this point. So you know, it also could just be a bad starter, but I'm not going to be spending any time on this. I bought this assuming that the engine was trash, because that's what I was told, and I have no reason to believe it's not. So I'm going to disconnect these cables, going to check out a couple more things like the radio, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of my day. I just wanted to film a quick little postscript here. So this was one of those almost blink and you'll miss it moments. I actually wish I had been filming it, because it was really satisfying. Now, before I go around the corner and show you, let me just preface this that I'm about to start some work on the Volvo. And I'm in the carport, and I find my suction cup dent puller, and I figure, okay, let's just see what that'll do on the rear of the black ML320. So long story short, you can still see a little ripple here, and of course this big ding, but the big dent has popped out. And although it's certainly not perfect, this is much easier for me to live with. So yeah, I literally just put down my suction cup dent puller, not expecting much to happen, pulled on it, and a very satisfying thunk, and the bulk of the dent was gone. So once again, it would be nicer if this hadn't happened, but it's almost completely corrected at this point. I'll throw some black touch-up on here. When I get the rear panel off, I'll see if maybe I can possibly work on these a little bit more. Maybe I'll have a little more luck with my hammer and dollies getting to this bit right here. And yeah, I'm actually really satisfied for about 5 seconds of work there. So this is all I'm going to do on the 320 today. As you can see, I have the Volvo elevated on jack stands right now, because I'm about to start working the exhaust system. So this is Rick with the Mercedes Diesel Guy channel. Thanks for watching.